my thoughts. I shut it down wherever power is stored. Being real is in the past, watching cowards get on. It ain't kill me, so it's making me stronger. And these bite-sized rappers now sensing my...
What the hell is going on, people? This is Periodik, and you see the title of the video. We are jumping back into Dragonball Z Dokkan Battle Japan in order to go over the wish strips and which 7 characters you should be picking. Now, I'm not going to give you a flat 7, characters that you should just grab and say you have to get these 7 no matter what, because a lot of people's accounts are much different. You may be hunting for dupes, you may be looking for a particular character, you may already have one. There could be one that I suggest that you already have rainbowed, and so that defeats the point of a top 7 list. At that point you would only need 6, right? So I'm going to click on every single character in this 77 list, and I'm going to give like 30-second thought on them. And then you can pretty much decide for yourself on who you think you want to grab. So we're going to start right off the bat. You're going to be able to get 7 of these characters. Remember, we're going to Super Saiyan Goku. If we go to his TUR, he's an Extreme Z Awakened character. He's just okay. If you're a beginner, you're not going to have the resources to be able to Extreme Z Awakening him, so I would probably stay away from that Goku. Same thing goes with this Super Saiyan 2 Goku, who's also an Extreme Z Awakened unit. So there's a difference between Extreme Z Awakened and Extreme Z Area. Both of them are difficult to do. Extreme Z Area definitely a lot harder because you need a lot rarer units, whereas Extreme Z battles you need just units that you can summon. Anyway, this guy's a pretty darn good Super Saiyan 2 support, though you may not include him in your team because there's a lot of great Super Saiyan 2 units. Again, he's an Extreme Z area unit. I'd probably avoid him and leave him last. Now this is where it starts getting good. This is Extreme Z Awakened Vegeta. He is fantastic. He stacks defense. He does great attack. He's just spectacular. Definitely a great pick to have. This Vegeta is fantastic. If we keep going, this Goku is very interesting, the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, because he's pretty plain. Attack and defense 90% at start of turn, and not bad. Stacks attack for 3 turns, but he most likely will get an Extreme Z Awakening in the future. At the moment, there are no plans for it, so I would probably skip. If we keep going, same deal with this Super Saiyan God Goku. He actually links incredibly well with a lot of like the Kaioken Gokus and the other Realm of God type hero units, but he's pretty simple as well. Attack and defense 80% only when performing a super attack, so that means he absolutely gets slapped around if he's not doing a super attack. Again, maybe in the future he'll get an Extreme Z Awakening, which will make him good. For the moment, I would skip. To keep it going, this Gohan is the same. Actually, he does have an Extreme Z Awakening, but it's not that impressive. Attack 90%, defense 40%, only when performing a super attack. Disables Rampage, which is a gimmick only when you're fighting Broly's. Definite skip. To keep going, this frontline Gohan, aka Ultimate Gohan, unfortunately, every single Ultimate Gohan we look at, I'm probably going to suggest you skip. 100% attack when the key is only 6 or more. Defense 120% when HP is above 80%, defense 40%, and performs a crit once when HP is below 80%. Yeah, pass. This AGL Mai, unless if you really love running Peppy Gals, I would skip. She's allies key +3 AGL type, attack and defense 20%. Peppy Gals gain 10% chance to crit. Even then, I wouldn't put her on the Peppy Gals team. Skip. This Caulifla is already has her Easy A just came out. She's absolutely phenomenal. Attack 120%, defense 60%, 50% chance to dodge, 25% chance to dodge super attacks and counter. Her attacks are effective against all types. When she has Kale in the same turn, she's monstrous. I would definitely grab her. Shape Up Boo, aka Super Boo, has an awakening. Hopefully he gets some kind of Easy A in the future. He's pretty good. Attack and defense 150%, 3 key additional 150% attack and defense, and high chance of dodging for 7 turns from start of fight. That's actually really, really good. He's particularly good on Majin Power and those type of teams. But unless if you have the new tech Fat Boo and Evil Boo that's going to come out, like unless if you're planning on summoning for him and running that team all the time, you're probably not going to use him because he's not going to work well outside of that team because of Revival. Majin and Infinite Regeneration are just straight up Majin links, but I guess Shocking Speed, Brainiacs, Innocence, Fierce Battle, it's not bad. So he's a consideration for sure. Dispo is going to be getting an Extreme Z Awakening. We have no idea what it is. I was about to say, don't tell me they dropped the info on it. We have no idea what his Extreme Z Awakening is going to be. I would possibly pick him up because they've been making Extreme Z Awakenings recently super overpowered. This Super Saiyan 2 Goku is pretty darn good. Unfortunately, you cannot run him alongside of the Intelligence one, so that's a notch against him. He's pretty good, though, because he... is this his Extreme Z Awakening? Yeah, he's an Orb Changer, which is nice, and he does decent damage on his own, but... Like I said, you can't run him alongside the other Super Saiyan 2, so this would probably be on my low priority list. Going into the Extreme AGL, this Kid Buu might be the worst Extreme Z Awakened unit in the game. Recovers 14% HP at the start of turn, attack 14%, defense 7% per orb obtained. Pass, he's terrible. This AGL Frieza just got his Extreme Z Awakening over on Global. He's a monster, stacks attack. If you get 4 orbs, you're going to get 2 additional ki plus 90% attack, and you're going to reduce damage by 90% when your HP is 40% or above, which is absolutely insane. This is a must pick. This AGL 18 does not have an Extreme Z Awakening. Hopefully she does. Right now, she's not bad. She stacks attack by 30% for 3 turns, attack and defense 70%. She orb changes from physical to AGL, and then if you drop below 70% HP from intelligence to physical, I would pick her up only after you pick up the top ones that I mentioned. Okay, so we're done with AGL. We're moving on to tech. Here's another Extreme Z area unit. This Super Saiyan 2 Goku, like I said before, save this to the end because you're not going to be able to do Extreme Z Awakening. He's another Super Saiyan 2 category ally. He's not bad. He gives everybody ki, and he gives himself attack and defense and all that fun stuff. So he's not bad. But again, he's going to be difficult to get for newcomers. This Super Saiyan 3 Tech Vegeta is another Extreme Z Awakening unit. Attack 90% of start of turn, ki plus 2, defense 120% when ki is 10 or more. He's not as good as his strength counterpart, the Super Saiyan 3, so I would probably skip. Moving right along to Super Saiyan Blue Goku. You're only going to need this guy if you're planning on doing the Hercules tile event. If you are not planning on doing that with LR Goku Frieza, or if you have Intelligence Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, then I would skip this guy. Hopefully when he gets an Extreme Z Awakening, he'll be better. We got this Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. This guy is absolutely monstrous. He will help you clear a ton of content, particularly longer things like Infinite Dragon Ball History and Legendary Goku event. He stacks attack and defense. For every orb that he gets, he gains attack and defense 20%. And if it's a tech orb, then he's going to gain 30% attack and defense. He also changes a random set of orbs to tech. So he's just absolutely God tier. This Trunks here, if we jump over to his Awakened, he's only awakened on Japan right now, but he's actually pretty solid. Attack 120%, reduces damage received by 40%, plus an additional 70% attack, and reduces damage received by an additional 30% when performing a super attack if there's an ally whose name includes Goten or Krillin. So he can actually get really, really good. And unfortunately, some of these categories you probably aren't going to be using that much, like Youth and Majin Buu Saga and things of that nature. Even Hybrid Saiyans for the most part, even though Hybrid Saiyans kind of anyway. But yeah, so he's interesting. Maybe you'll run him on Kamehameha, maybe you'll run him on Super Saiyans. I would say he's not top tier, but he's right below. He's darn good. If we continue going, this support Vegeta, who also does a decent amount of damage, is a must-have as well. He gives himself 90% attack and defense plus 2 ki, and he gives everyone on his team 30% attack and defense as long as there's 2 or more Vegeta's family category allies on the team, which the majority of teams you put him on, you can have more than 2 Vegeta family members. Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyan, Future Saga, Worthy's Rivals, etc., etc. So he's also a must-have. Keeping it going, Bulla. Bulla is one of the best supports in the game because she does not have a requirement for specific units to buff. She just gives everyone 3 ki and 40% attack. She also increases her dodge chance if she's got Peppy Gals people on the team. I would, again, prioritize her under the top tier units unless if you desperately need a support, then she is your gal. Tapion, he's pretty low priority. He's rather low priority. Attack and defense 80%, medium chance to crit, changes strength orbs to rainbow. He's okay, but he's not necessarily good on any of these teams. So yeah, you probably want to pass on him. And then you have this Kaioken Goku, whose art is absolutely phenomenal. Stacks attack and defense. He's very gimmicky though. He has to be facing a Vegeta's family enemy to be really good. If not, he gives himself attack and defense 90% when super attacking. When your HP drops below 60%, you gain an additional 60% attack and 6 ki. And if he's facing Vegeta's family enemy, you gain an additional 1 ki and 60% defense. So he's really good unless if he's facing Vegeta's family. Other than that, he's just okay. So I wouldn't prioritize him. His art is amazing though. Another Extreme Z area unit in this Super Saiyan Vegeta. Again, he's okay, but I wouldn't prioritize him. 3 ki, 70% attack and defense, plus an additional 30% attack and chance of performing a crit up to 35% at start of each turn when HP is 80% or less. So essentially you have to stay below 80% HP to be able to gain those things. He's kind of gimmicky. He's good, but he's gimmicky. And like I said before with the Extreme Z areas, you might want to hold off on him. Majin Vegeta, who has yet to get an Extreme Z Awakening. We'll see what that is. As of now, he's probably one of the worst on this list. Don't even look at him. Super Boo, whoops, speaking about worse on the list, we have this Super Boo here, recovers 30% of damage dealt as health. Yeah, pass. Nova Shenron. Nova Shenron is pretty good because his Extreme Z Awakening gives him 3 ki, 90% attack and defense. He's a Shadow Dragons, 30% attack and defense support. Unfortunately, no one runs Shadow Dragons, so unless if that changes, then he would be... I'm not going to say he's a bottom tier pick, but he's pretty useless. You're not going to run him if you get him. And then you have this Tech 18. Okay. Yes, I did. Tech 18, let's go to the Awakened version. Attack and defense 14% for every orb she gets, plus an additional attack and defense 1% per Peppy Gal's category ally. That means she can go up to 20% attack and defense. She's okay. Raises attack and defense by 30% for 6 turns. That's pretty good. You're really only going to be using her on Peppy Gals, and because of that, I would skip. Moving on to the intelligence, you have another Extreme Z area Gohan. Ki plus 4 attack and defense 70%, plus an additional 7% when there's an ally named Goku. They're much better Super Saiyan Gohans, so I would skip. And much easier, well, not easier to get, but you know what I mean. Another Extreme Z area unit, and you know how I feel about those. Ki plus 3 attack and defense 70%, plus an additional 30% attack and defense per Super Saiyans attacking in the same turn. That means his stacks can get pretty darn good, and he stacks his attack. He's pretty good, but again, he's an Extreme Z area unit, so I'd probably pass. Same thing with that Trunks that we were looking at, that Tech Trunks before. This is a Awakening that's only available on JP. He's pretty much the opposite. He just needs Trunks Kid or Krillin. He's pretty darn good as well. Again, I wouldn't say he's top tier, but he's right below it. All right, so we have Intelligence Mai. Once she got her Awakening, she became a Time Traveler support. 2 ki, attack and defense 40%, 50% chance of stunning the enemy. She's actually one of a very good link with LR Trunks and Mai. So if you have LR Trunks and Mai and you're planning on running Time Travelers, then she's definitely a great pick. If not, then I would skip. Continuing, we have Intelligence Videl. She's Peppy Gals, attack and defense 15% per Peppy Gals ally on the team. Attacked enemies attacked minus 20% for 2 turns, recovers 20% of damage dealt as HP. Pretty good kit here, but again, no one runs Peppy Gals, so you're never going to use her. Ribrianne. So speaking about Peppy Gals, she's the Peppy Gals 120% lead right here. She transforms into this Ribrianne, and she's phenomenal, but again, no one else is going to be running Peppy Gals, and she's only 120% lead. If she was 150, then Peppy Gals would actually be a serious team, and they would be able to do quite a bit of work, but unfortunately, since she's only 120, it's kind of useless. we're moving on to this Intelligence Cell. Speaking about useless Extreme Z Awakening, this man went from 40% attack and defense to 90% attack and defense. And when your HP drops below 30%, you gain back 20%. Pretty useless, pretty terrible. Speaking about not terrible, you have this Intelligence Golden Frieza, one of the best Extreme Z Awakenings. Stacks defense, 90% attack and defense at the start of turn. He gives target Goku allies 2 key attack and defense 30%. If he's facing any kind of Goku, whether it's base form Goku, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, whatever, he's got a 50% chance of getting a crit. So he's absolutely phenomenal, top tier. You have this Intelligence 18. Yes, I did mean this one. Her Extreme Z Awakening made her very, very good. She stacks attack, greatly lowers defense, gives herself 80% attack and defense, and also reduces damage by 18%, which is not bad. We'll take those. She changes Rainbow Orbs to Intelligence. Not to mention, if you have Android 17 attacking in the same turn, not Android 17 Future, but Android 17, then she's going to gain an additional 70% attack and defense and have a 25% chance of dodging enemies' attack. So she's absolutely great, only if you're getting 17. So if I was going to get one, I would get both. And moving to this Metal Cooler. This Metal Cooler is one of the best extreme supports in the game. He gives himself 50% attack and defense. He gives all allies 30% attack. He gives all extreme allies 40% defense as well, plus 3 key. He's phenomenal. If you have a lot of good extreme units, then definitely pick this man up. Moving on to Android 13. So I would only really grab this guy if you have the the AGL Android 13, because he's pretty good. If that's the case, attack and defense 50%, changes tech orbs to rainbow. If he's getting rainbow, he's getting 2 key instead of just 1. He also gives himself 30% attack and defense per Android category ally on the team. Again, if you're running him alongside of Android 13, then go for it. If not, then don't even look in his direction. Zamasu most likely will be getting an Extreme Z Awakening, but at the moment, 40% damage reduction, attack and defense up to 60%, as long as his HP is at 100%, and he loses it slowly as he loses HP. He also recovers 7%. Not bad kit. He's probably going to be busted when he becomes an Extreme Z Awakening, so if you kind of have everyone already, then I would probably try to rainbow this guy, because his stats already are insane, and once he gets an easy A, he's going to be even crazier. But if you're like desperate for units and you don't have any of them, then I wouldn't really consider that guy. And then finally, in Intelligence, we have this GT Cell. I doubt that these guys are going to get Extreme Z Awakenings anytime soon, so I probably wouldn't look at them right now. He seals super attack, gives himself 80% attack and defense, and then he gives himself an additional 100% attack, and it's effective against all types if the enemy is actually stunned. So pretty good. His links aren't bad either. Like, he's decent, but again, you're going to probably use different cells. His name is GT, so you can put him alongside of other cells, but like I said before, once he gets Extreme Z Awakening, he will be very good, but right now he just kind of does meh. And even though like his stats are good and stuff, his passive looks really clean and whatnot, but it is what it is. And the fact that he seals instead of stuns is kind of counterintuitive, but whatever. All right, so we're done with Intelligence. We're moving over to Strength. Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. This kid is actually really good, particularly against the LR AGL Gohan. So if you do pull him, or if you have pulled him already, then fantastic. This dude does a lot of damage. Key 3, attack and defense 77%. Now, if you have Super Saiyan Goku in the same rotation, then he's going to gain an additional 59% and do even more damage. Though, like I said, his best links are with that AGL LR Gohan. He's definitely a pickup if you have that Gohan, or if you have a good Super Saiyan Goku that you want to run alongside him. If not, then I'd probably skip. Okay, so we're going on to the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who I was one of those oldest ones to get an Extreme Z Awakening, if I remember correctly. Defense 40%, attack 80% if your HP is above 30, plus an additional 30% if it's above 50, plus an additional 30% if it's above 80. Does it tell you how much? Yeah, so it's saying that his maximum passive is 140% attack. He's okay. He's not incredible. I would definitely save until the end. This Beerus you're only really going to use if you want to run Worthy Rivals, because he is a Worthy Rival support. He's also got 100% defense and a 50% chance of getting 200% attack. Again, if you're not running Worthy Rivals, you're not going to run him. If you are running Worthy Rivals, then you already know you got to pick him up. Super Saiyan Goku. This is not necessarily one of the ones I was saying that you should run when I was saying you should run Super Saiyan Goku's. Key 3, 80% attack and defense, as long as your HP is above 30%, and then he disables Rampage. Yeah, no thank you. We'll just keep moving. This Goten is actually pretty good, and I think the best out of the family Kamehameha units, because even though his stats are somewhat similar, attack and defense 70%, he changes physical orbs to rainbow orbs, so at least he's good there. And he also stacks his defense by 30% for 3 turns, so that's better than pretty much the Gohan and the Goku. So of these 3, I would pick him. Is he a top pick? No, but if you're debating which one you should get out of those 3, definitely the Goten. Okay, so keeping it going, we have the Strength God Goku, 80% attack and defense when performing a super attack, very similar to the AGL one. I would save this for last. Again, he'll probably get an Extreme Z Awakening and make him very strong, but for now, just meh. All right, so what is okay? So we have the Super Saiyan Gotenks here. Easy aid, attack and defense 80%. All allies 1 key. Attack and defense 40% when facing 2 enemies. 2 gimmicky. I would pass. Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku. He's actually a very good support because he gives 33% attack for all allies, but he was better back in the day, back when people didn't hit for 1,000,000 damage and defense countered for a lot. Hopefully he gets an Extreme Z Awakening soon and he'll be very good, but at the moment I would probably skip. Where are we? Okay, so Strength Pan here. Peppy Gal's again character, stacks defense by 30% for 6 turns, which is good. Chance of dodging 15% at start of turn, up to 60. Attack 70%, defense 120% for 7 turns. 2 gimmicky, I would pass, and plus you're not going to use her. Topo right now is a very good support unit, and you're probably going to use him on the Universal Survival Saga. Because he gives all allies attack and defense 35%, and the enemy has 50% minus defense. He is going to be getting Extreme Z Awakening, just like I said with Dispo. That means he'll probably be broken, so I would probably pick him up. Chichi, you already know you're going to pass. There's no good Chichis in the game. 100% attack. Peppy Gals, key plus 3, defense 120%. Again, if you're running Peppy Gals, this girl would be phenomenal, but unfortunately, since Peppy Gals only has 120% lead, then they're not really viable, so skip on that. So this Super Saiyan Trunks Future stacks his defense by 30% for 6 turns. He also reduces damage by 40%, but unfortunately, he does have to lose HP to be able to activate his attack and defense percentage, so for that reason, skip. If he ever gets an Extreme Z Awakening, he'll be very, very good, I do believe. Moving over to Extreme Strength, this Evil Boo actually isn't bad with his Extreme Z Awakening. 90% attack and defense. All enemies minus 20% attack and defense, which is huge, negating 20% of your enemy's attack. He also launches a super attack with a 50% chance of dodging if there's a Majin Buu Saga enemy. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of those. You're going to be looking at like Ultimate Gohans and like Super Vegetos and Goku and Vegeta from that specific arc and like any Majin Buu character. So there's not really a ton in like events and stuff like that. So he's definitely in the mid tier, I would say. But he's not a must grab at all. Okay, so this Strength Android 17, again, like I said, he is the star of the show of him in 18. He stacks his defense and he stacks it fast, especially if he's next to the 18. The reason for that is if he's attacking in the same turn as 18, he's going to launch an additional super attack. So boom, he's going to raise his defense by 60% every turn and keep it. He also changes AGL orbs to rainbow and gives himself 70% attack and defense plus 17% crit. And then, like I said before, he's got that attack and defense 80%. So very, very good. That, by the way, it's a 25% chance of launching an additional, but it still happens quite a bit. So he's phenomenal. Super Boo, this Strength Boo right here, who's an AoE unit, changes intelligence to strength, attack and defense 50%, plus an additional attack and defense. Attack and defense 10% per strength orb obtained. If you don't have a better unit to run for the World Tournament, this is the reason you'll get him, because he does supreme damage to all enemies. If you have like any other Broly, or you're planning on using LR Krillin, or you're planning on using LR Nappa Vegeta, then you should skip him. Okay, so Strength Majin Vegeta, very similar to the AGL Super Saiyan 2 Goku. There's the LR that you would use over him, but maybe in certain situations you would bring this guy. He's gives himself 50% attack and defense. When he supers, changes AGL orbs to strength, and then does the same thing that Goku does, just with Goku's family instead. He's pretty good, but again, probably not one of my top picks. Moving on to physical. This is one of the Extreme Z Awakening units. All allies defend 70%. Gives himself 20% attack per bond of master and disciple category. Yeah, he's barely okay. I would skip. Plus, he's difficult to get. This Gohan, I think, has almost the same exact stats as the AGL one. Yeah, pretty much. Don't pick. No thanks. This Goku is very good. Super Saiyan Goku. He does a whole lot. He's got a 70% chance of stunning when he supers. He gives himself 80% attack and defense plus 2 ki when you're above 50%. But the big thing is he's got a 50% chance to crit. And then when you're below 50% health, he gives himself 100% attack and defense, and he's got a 70% chance to crit. So that's absolutely incredible. He's a must pick. Moving along, we have another Extreme Z Awakening Super Saiyan 2 Goku. As I said before, there's a better Super Saiyan 2 Goku in the game. He's also support. Yeah, I'm going to pass on that. This Strength Goku here needs an Extreme Z Awakening. He's got phenomenal art. His stats suck. Don't pick him. Hopefully his EZA is good in the future. This Physical Vegeta, if we switch over here, still needs Extreme Z Awakening. He sucks right now. Don't pick him. This Gotenks has an Extreme Z Awakening. He's actually pretty good with that Extreme Z Awakening. 120% attack when he supers. Ki plus 1 up to 3, and defense plus 30% up to 120 with each super attack performed. That means that he can do pretty good damage and pretty good defense. Plus he seals. He's pretty good. I would put him near the top if you already have like the top units that I mentioned. This Physical Trunks is a support unit, very similar to the Tech Vegeta that I mentioned, except he gives himself 70% attack and defense when there's 2 or more Vegeta's family, and he gives all allies that 30% attack and defense plus 2 ki. He's a must-have support. He's fantastic. Okay, so we already got that. This Bulma, you already know she's bad. Let's go ahead and take a look. Ki plus 4 at the start, recover 8,000. Yeah, it's a joke. Don't pick. This Physical Kaioken Goku is also pretty terrible. 120% attack at the start of turn, 25% chance to dodge, and that's about it. Yeah, no thank you. Extreme Z Awakening, please. This Kale just got her Extreme Z Awakening. She's very, very good. I wouldn't say she's as good as the Caulifla, but she's very solid because she's gimmicky. You need to get 6 or more physical orbs after the 7th turn of battle to have any kind of defense, and that is dangerous. So I would say get some of the other ones that I mentioned first, and then kind of save her towards, after you've gotten like 10 or 12 of those top characters that I talked about. This kid Chichi, actually, if I remember correctly, she's got good stats, but again, see 250% attack when performing a super, which is crazy, but she gives herself minus 50% attack after 3 turns once she gets hit. And she's got Goku on the team, Youth Goku, just too gimmicky. Don't even waste your time. This Kefla is still pretty good, Super Saiyan Kefla, especially because you can run her alongside of the Transforming Kefla, because she starts at Super Saiyan 2, and the other Kefla starts at base form. Yes, I do believe so. She changes intelligence orbs to physical. She gives herself attack and defense 12% per orb gained, and she's got a 25% chance to dodge, and she also launches an additional attack, which has a 50% chance to become a super attack. So she's really, really good. I would say she's probably like top 10, maybe like top 15 for the wishes. Physical Boot here, if we take a look real quick, recovers 25% HP whenever, he needs an EZA, he's bad, don't grab him. Champa, very limited, only for Universe 6. He's a Universe 6 support lead, kind of like that Beerus was a Worthy Rivals lead, or I'm sorry, not lead, support. Universe 6, Ki plus 2, attack and defense 40%, medium chance of 200% attack, but he doesn't give himself any defense besides this little buff. So unless if you really love running Universe 6, I wouldn't waste the strip on him. Brigade mode, yes, I did just say Brigade mode. This dude is absolutely monstrous. He's incredible on Universe Survival Saga, and he works really well on Siblings Bond. Nobody really runs Giant form. This dude, whoopsie, let's go to his Extreme Z Awakening. This dude, every time he gets hit, he gains 30% attack and defense, and every time he super attacks, he stacks his defense by 30% for 9 turns. That makes him unkillable. He can get up to like 1 million damage, and he can end up doing 2.5 million damage easy. So this guy is absolutely monstrous. Unfortunately, he's kind of limited to those 2 categories, so if you don't run either of those 2, then I wouldn't use my strip on him. This Vegeta is very similar to that Tech Kaioken Goku that I mentioned before. He's exactly the same, except you need Goku's family enemy. So again, if you're planning on fighting a lot of Goku's family enemies, which there are in the game, then he could be very good, particularly next to the LR Nappa, because he has like over 9,000 and stuff like that. But besides that, I would probably skip. This Frieza is very similar to the GT Cell, where he needs the Extreme Z Awakening. He does a whole lot. He's pretty much the other way around. He stuns, and then he does that massive damage to anybody whose attack is sealed. So you're playing, like, they want you to run them together, but they don't really link that well. So it is what it is. I would pass. And then last but not least, this 17 needs an Extreme Z Awakening. He does the same thing that AGL 18 that I mentioned does. Attack and defense 70%, changes tech orbs to physical, changes strength to AGL if HP is 70% or below. Unfortunately, there's free-to-play future 17 and 18s that are better than these 17 and 18s. Once they get an Extreme Z Awakening, then they'll be very, very good. Well, that is all 77 characters, guys. Hopefully, you listen through the whole thing and you take my advice to heart. Again, it all depends on who you have as characters. That really determines who you pick. If your opinion differs with mine, then please leave a comment down below. I do read every single comment. While you're down there, you might as well gently rub that subscribe button, gingerly ring that bell button, lovingly kiss the like button. As always, this is Periodic. See y'all in the next video.